Oh my God, this is so exciting.
Hang on, I don't have my mic. Hang on. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hang on.
Oh,
my
fuck
God.
me. Sorry. God, you started really out the gates there.
Sorry. I think it's because we've got an audience. We've got our divine editor, Emily, here
You know,
today.
we should spring on her.
What? Get her on the podcast. Oh my God, Emily, take a seat. Take a
I
seat,
was thinking this, but I was like, be quite fun. I was like,
And you get, take a seat. There we go. Oh my God, amazing. You have
Hey,
to pick it up
guys.
and
Oh.
actually speak into it.
A fist away.
fist away. Yep, she knows the drill.
Hey, Emily, okay, be honest with us both. So she edits the podcast, right? So she hears all the behind the scenes, all of our annoying,
Everything.
I feel like I've got way better. Or Emily's editing has got way better. I don't know, one of the two.
Do you listen to yourself though? Like, do you listen when it's edited?
Yeah, and I sound great.
Do you actually listen though? Because I don't reckon you do. So how do you know you've gotten any better? The question I was going to ask you, Emily, is what are the most annoying words or things that you have to edit out from both of us?
I mean, wild was definitely a phase that's now.
But see, I'm learning.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
haven't said it anymore.
Well, yeah, no, yeah. What
It's
about
funny when I read to do research for the podcast. In my head, I'm like, wild.
do you actually?
Yeah, and I'm like, no. I'm just so like, wow, wild. And I'm like, don't write that down. Anyway.
So enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Another thing is in other news.
Oh, she totally does. You're so right.
Well, I need another segue.
No, do you know what it
Because
is?
Sof always goes off on tangents and I need to rein her back in.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
kind of like,
Where to go
Yeah.
from here?
I mean,
the news.
no, but actually I did say to Emily, we should try and get like some kind of fun,
ding.
yeah, you know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
some
yeah.
sort of audio production situation so it can be like from one story to the next.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So maybe we try that for this episode. Maybe
Okay.
we'll, so TBC, if it sounds really weird when you're listening, we'll go back to the original in other news.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
why don't we try like find some kind of fun sound effect?
Yeah, this
okay.
is not your fault. This is mine. Soph actually mentioned this a while ago and I just haven't got there yet. But this podcast episode will be included.
Actually, speaking of Emily, we might have to have a talk about your
Yeah,
performance, you know,
actually-
because if you're...
Actually, I think we should get back to what we were doing.
Get out.
No, just kidding. Okay, Emily is like an angel sent from heaven. If I had to edit our voices still, and I had to, I think it was quite hard to listen to ourselves in, you know, like to be editing and presenting. Then you just like,
I'm just scared to talk now.
oh no.
Me, I'm like, oh, stop the pity party. God. Take constructive criticism, Vic. No.
So funny.
But I have got a lot better, eh?
No, definitely. When people say they've gone back to listen to the beginning of the podcast,
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
cringe.
I cringe massively.
Every time you say it as well, I'm like, and if you want to go back to the beginning and learn, I'm like, no, don't say that. But
Yeah, but I think it's just what I find weird is I think when we record these podcasts, I assume everyone is listening up to date, you know, as in that everyone's, but then I get these like stories or messages of like on socials of people listening to like older episodes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
or people message being like, ha ha ha, the pumpkin. And I'm like,
You're like,
oh my God, what are we talking about? And
That's like
is,
someone
you know?
messaged me, be like, oh, sorry to hear about your surgery. I was like, what surgery?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's right. That was ages ago.
Oh,
Yes.
dear.
So this week, we're going to talk about.
Nice, Vic. That was a good.
okay. I was like, guys,
She was
looking at some you guys for validation.
oh my God, it's so funny, Vic. Nice, well done.
So this week we're going to talk about a stock exchange that wants to be open 24 hours a day.
Ooh.
So the New York Stock Exchange is putting out a poll and asking traders, hey, what do you think? And can you vote on if you want the stock exchange to be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
What are the opening hours at the moment?
So it's about, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
It does feel a bit archaic, to be honest, to not be open all the time.
I know, but also kind of nice.
Yeah,
You
I
know, like
for you, yes.
I was
but
thinking it would go the other way and be like, cool, people are working from home. Let's just be open a few days a week.
Nah,
Yeah.
because I think there's like an element of, I don't know, I feel like if McDonald's is open 24/7, the stock market
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
plus, what's it going to change? Is it like, how would that affect investments or investors?
Yeah, so it would be the first stock exchange to be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But other,
Isn't it all automated anyway?
what
Like,
do you call it? Other platforms. So like crypto, you can trade that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Currencies you can trade any time of the day. So there's other assets that you can trade all the time. And the reasoning behind this vote now is that the stock exchange was set up mainly for institutions to trade on behalf of their clients. So a fund manager would trade for their clients.
Okay, wait, let's just break that down for a second.
So I would trade as a fund manager. I've got a pool of clients' money, and I would trade through a broker but on the stock exchange for my clients. The clients wouldn't trade directly on the stock exchange.
So the clients are the people that are giving you the money.
You and me.
Well, so we're like, Vic, can you invest for us? And you're like, sure.
Yeah.
I'll go and pick the stocks and the companies that I'm going to buy for you. And the whole point was, because it was a business doing it, it only needed to be open 9 to 5 because that's when fund managers were working.
Exactly.
But now it's been democratized with DIY platforms.
100%.
And like the clients can trade themselves. So
And crypto has democratized it as well. You know, people are trading crypto, like mum and dad investors, you and me. And there's been a huge jump in and there is after hours trading at the moment.
Did that sound really bogan? Do you think when I swear I sound quite bogan?
I didn't even hear you swear. I was concentrating on what I was going to say next. Sorry.
So self-involved. So I've just heard my accent lately in almost like an out-of-body experience where I'm like, oh yeah, fucking A. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm such a, I sound like a bogan
Like when
New
we were going
Zealander.
to that meeting the other day, and I was like, you're like, which direction? I was like, oh, just straight down the guts.
Oh
and
yeah,
I
I was like, what was that? I was like, what are you talking about? Like, where did that even come from?
I was like,
Who even, like, what? I just need context because that is like not really a Victoria Harris comment, but B, I don't even reckon that's New Zealand slang.
no, it's not. No, straight down the middle would have been fine. Thanks, Vic. Straight down the middle.
That's right. We were trying to get our way. It was like cold and freezing and I'd massively underdressed.
Yeah.
And we were in a hurry to get somewhere. And I was like, what way are we going? And Vic's like, straight down the guts. And I was like, pardon?
Yeah.
Where did it come from? Like,
Flower Man.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
Yeah. So we
Cute.
don't.
So he's
we
rubbing
love
off on
it.
you.
Oh my god.
Lol. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So you can currently trade after hours right now, but because it's not common, then there's very little volume. So if you wanted to sell your shares and you wanted to do it after 5 p.m., 4 p.m., whichever stock exchange you're trading on, A, it's very hard to find someone that will do it for you, but B, it's hard to find someone that will want to sell to you because there might be 10 or 20% of people that are trading at that time.
I think that will change because I think as soon as the idea of being able to trade after working hours becomes more known, it makes sense for people to go in and check their trades after work quickly or in the morning, whatever. What's happening at the moment with like the likes of Sharesies or Robinhood or all the different trading platforms, if you want to sell something or buy something after hours, is it kind of in a holding pen and it doesn't actually get executed until it's open?
Until the next morning, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I've tried to sell things and it's like taken ages, that's because I've done it.
Yeah.
See, that annoys me. I'm like, I'd way rather it be more instant.
Say you did that after hours when the market was closed and you were using a platform that allowed you to trade after hours. So they might charge an extra fee but the key thing is that there's so few people trading then that you might have to
get a shitter price
because you're like, I really want to sell, but there's only one buyer rather than 10 buyers if I did it during trading hours.
Do you know what I don't understand?
But the other thing just on this is that if you put an order in to sell your stock, for example, and the market's open, you can see what price you're going to get. Cool, sweet, done. If you put that order in, then went to sleep and say you wanted to sell some Amazon and then during that time something comes out in the news that's absolutely shitted on Amazon stock, you wake up and you're like, holy shit, while you've been asleep.
You could have actually sold at a really low
You could
price.
have sold it, or you wanted to buy. It's just like while you're asleep, there could be so much that goes on. You'd have to put in like limit orders of like, look, this is the limit I want to sell, or this is the limit I want to buy, because otherwise the stock market's going to move around while you're asleep. So that's kind of what we used to do when we used to trade global companies in New Zealand, because we'd be asleep most of the time, you have to put in those barriers, I guess, those boundaries of what you're happy to buy it and happy to sell it, because otherwise.
I just think the idea of selling more instantaneously means that's avoided.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, I know what I'm selling, I know what I'm buying at because it's immediate. So you're making a decision and then it gets executed straight away. That's
one thing this is great for is the exchange stocks. So the companies that own the stock exchanges. So the company itself that owns the NASDAQ, for example, the company that owns the New York Stock Exchange, if this starts rolling out, that's so much more revenue for them. You're going...
so we could invest in the NASDAQ.
You can invest in the NASDAQ. You can invest in the New York Stock Exchange. It's called Intercontinental Exchange, who owns...
Oh my God. Yeah. So this sort of news, because it could benefit them from a revenue perspective, if you were thinking, this could be an opportunity, you can invest in the actual company that owns the...
Like the NZX.
Genius.
The NZX is a company that owns the New Zealand Stock Exchange, all of that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see what the voting plays out. But
I vote yes. Not that anyone's asking me, but I think I vote that I want it to be open all the time.
Yeah. Something else that's happened.
You're giggling already, so I'm like, what is
No, because I was going to be like, in other news.
Oh, okay.
Something else that's happened is that we have...
Let's brainstorm after this a few one-liners for you, you know?
Yeah,
so it might be like, in other news, it could be like, wow, this thing's, okay.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
I'll help you. Oh, cute. I got a message from Fanboy.
It's so funny. He messaged the Curve DMs. Like, when was it? Back in August, like ages ago. And I remember being like, he was like, oh, you and Soph should do this. And I was like, oh, fuck off. I was like,
she's so not at
like, I was just like, oh, you should do this trading thing or something. I was like, I don't even know. Also, you can't even spell Soph's name right. It's like, he spelled it S-O-F. And I was like, oh.
You can tell it was you that responded as well, because it was literally just you go, so good, laugh face or something.
Yeah.
Whereas
and
if it was me,
and I was like,
I would have gone into
down.
it and been like, oh, he's cute. And I would have entertained the conversation for sure. So you technically cock-blocked me, actually.
Sorry. Hey, it worked in your favour. Play hard to get, girl.
True.
Okay. So Tesla.
Okay.
I've got my phone on flight mode.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
Sorry.
We have the fullest schedule of meetings this morning.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay. I'm concentrating.
Sorry, no, but it's like young love. I feel like I should really condone it, you know?
Okay, continue. Oh, fuck.
No.
Is something funny, or are you just struggling to come up with your one line?
No, it's just not podcast appropriate.
No, tell me. I want to know.
No,
we can cut it out.
The other day when we had our meeting, and Soph's like, Vic, you coming? Are you late? She's like, you're never late for meetings. Is everything okay?
Oh, my God.
So Tesla. So we have had over 180 companies out of the S&P 500, so 40%, report their financial results this week. So Vic has been busy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That does make a lot of sense.
So one of those is Tesla, and it was up 15% last week in 1 week, which is amazing.
I had a few people like message me in the Curve saying, have you invested in Tesla? I'm thinking of investing in Tesla. And I thought, interesting. What's going on with Tesla? Like, I didn't look into it because I don't know. But I've obviously sold my shares, so I was kind of not as invested. Why has it gone up?
Well, if you remember, it's been one of the worst performers of the S&P 500, and it's down about 40% this year already.
Yeah.
So I think heading into this result, people were expecting pretty bad things already. You know, remember the share prices are forward-looking. You're looking at the future of the business, you know, the growth opportunities, the strategy, all of that. So if that doesn't look good, the share price is going to fall. So people weren't expecting a good result. So the fact that it's come out, and yes, the result wasn't good, but what got people's attention was they are bringing forward the launch of more affordable cars. So
great.
Yeah, so they've always said they're going to launch a more affordable version, but they've actually brought forward that plan. So they're probably going to launch that this year.
That's super exciting.
Yes. So it's about 40,000 US.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, but they're bringing out a $25,000 US car. So the fact they're bringing out more affordable cars, to me, like you started Tesla Elon started Tesla with the idea that it's going to be premium electric vehicle car company. And now he's like, shit, we need to bring down the affordability of these cars to sell more. It just kind of doesn't really align with what they're doing. I think, I just don't see this being a game changer.
I think it's going to be a game changer. I disagree with you.
What he did say, though, is that they're investing a lot in AI, and they're like, the future of cars is not going to be the car or the hardware, it's going to be the software in the car.
Oh.
And I was like, that's so true. Like, you almost won't care what it looks like, but it'll be like, what is the functionality? You know, like we went through the Industrial Revolution where it was like, wow, this is a car, it's got wheels, it's got a door, you know, whereas
it sounds so cool, by the way. I'd love to go into more detail on that one day. Like the Industrial Revolution, I don't know what that is.
Like going from horse and cart to car.
God, that's cool.
And
How
now
long
it's
ago
like
was that?
we're driving in computers is kind of what.
Yeah. So it's kind of like almost the next step is not so much the functionality in terms of aesthetically, but it's more,
it's all the software.
I guess if you could say this software is going to bring down road accidents by X,
Totally.
Y, Z. Also, imagine if you could, you know how annoying it is to get, I wonder if this would affect Uber's rating, because imagine if cars were able to drive you regardless.
Oh, driverless cars. Yeah, definitely.
Well, what I mean is like if you're,
but then Uber could just bring in driverless cars.
No, but I mean like drunk driving, like you can't get in your car when you've been drinking, but if you're not even driving and the car drives itself, it's almost like you have your own taxi.
Imagine the productivity. You could work as you commute. Like the productivity of the world, having an extra hour or two, whatever your commute is.
Do you think that's a clever way to think about investing in terms of like, okay, people are going to not have to worry about getting taxis or Ubers in 10 years' time. So investing in
but there's still the ownership of a car.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if I don't own a car, I would still want to get in an Uber.
But I mean divesting from something like Uber. Oh.
Like, do you know, like if like, I don't own a car in London, so I would use a driverless Uber.
Got you.
If that makes sense. Yeah. But yes, no, that's very true. You can't constantly think about like what will the future mean, what companies will benefit, what won't, what companies won't. But Amazon did this. So they started as an online bookstore, an online marketplace selling goods and services and selling products. And then
did they start as just selling books?
Selling books.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And then they brought out the Kindle and everyone was like, why would you bring out something that's going to fully ruin your own business?
That's right.
Yeah. And they were like, no, it's going to be a game changer. Anyway, they started selling books. Then they obviously branched out to every single product. But what they did is they needed a whole bunch of software or cloud computing capacity to run their business. So what they did is they started their own cloud computing business. And now that is like, I don't know if it's generating more than the marketplace probably, but like it's just, I think that's what Tesla is doing and what Elon Musk is doing is he's like, yes, we started with cars, but now we spend so much on software. Let's create our own in-house software.
Oh, it's so
if
genius.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Elon Musk for the win when it comes to innovation, right?
Well, this is the whole thing that we've been learning about this capital raising journey is like
for anyone that missed it, let's just do a little update there. So we're raising capital for the curve, which has been a very steep learning curve for us, hasn't it? In a good way.
Yeah.
But basically that just means taking external capital or money from people to help grow the business faster.
Yeah. And how I'm comparing the curve and
I'm loving
Tesla and Amazon is that it's all about, we've been told, we're doing this program as well with Linda Jenkinson, who we interviewed last week.
Yeah.
And she's always like, the success of a business comes down to three things. She's like, do you want to take a guess at what they are? And I can't remember what I said, but she was like, no, you're wrong. She's like, it's entrepreneur. And it's so true. It's like you're backing Elon Musk, you're backing Jeff Bezos, you're backing those people.
Sophie and Vic.
Just lump ourselves in there. But like we could be selling bananas. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
it's all about people.
And Stephen Bartlett says as well, it's like every person is in the recruitment business. You know, it's like, it's all about who you hire, who you support. Like the company is only the people. Like all of
what
that.
What do you
kind
think
of
of Emily? She's literally in the room right now.
We'll take this offline. Yes. But that also comes to my next point around Meta is they had a really great financial result, but investors didn't like it. And there was 3 reasons. Their revenue projections for the next quarter weren't what people expected. They're going to increase their capital expenditure, so what they're going to spend in the future. And the third thing is this metaverse that they keep going on about. Everyone's like,
Give it a break, hon.
And everyone's just like, it just sounds like it's costing you more and more and more of investor money and we're not happy with it. But you've got to go back and look, okay, what has Mark Zuckerberg done? Like historically, these big bets have all paid off for him.
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, he might be talking about metaverse and we're sitting here as investors being like, oh, what are you talking about? It's like, no, he knows that business the best. He knows.
So get off your high horse, like
I know.
Mark from Taranaki, you know, like as if you are in a position to judge Mark Zuckerberg's business decision, you know?
Like, he does not care about you. He is like, whatever, I'm just going to keep growing. And so it's kind of a bit of trust and loyalty. Like Meta's been around for 20 years. During that time.
Side note, did you see that meme? It was like from Mr. Steal Your Dollar to Mr. Steal Your Girl. Like, look at the transformation in his
he's got
face.
like facial hair and a neck. He's gone from like weedy looking tech geek to like
kind of cute.
Moustache, chain around his neck.
Got a bit of a tan, like
stealing your daughter, stealing your girl. So true. Anyway, yes, Meta has gone through 20 years of so many things. Like we've gone from desktop to mobile. You know, he introduced stories and reels that people were like, oh, that's not going to work.
Actually, remember when reels came in, or even when people started, we used to just do one photo on Instagram and now we do 10. And remember, we're like, lame, you've got a whole album.
Yeah.
And now we're like, oh, can we have more? Like,
I think he's just
photo.
I personally think sometimes when companies are investing a lot, it can be a bad thing, and they can keep investing and not actually see any fruition of like their investments. But a company like this, I look at this and I'm like, wow, okay, he's investing more, and yes, investors might not like it, but he's playing the long game. He's looking at this business from a long-term view, which is what we should be doing as well, not, oh, they've had a shit result this quarter, you know? So I think it's quite genius from him.
I definitely think that that's something I've learned from you over the last couple of years is like, there's a lot that can be said for looking at the data of a company and the revenue and blah, blah, blah. But it's also just as simple as like, do you believe in the person running it?
Yeah.
And the products and like
100%.
the market they're operating in? It's actually quite simple.
And he's got a huge percentage of the shares that Meta has. So he's incentivized to make it work as well. You know, like I think that's also a huge factor to consider. And Google.
Gosh, you do have a lot today, don't you?
I know, yeah.
I was so excited about this episode, so I've got so much to talk about.
Google, which is called Alphabet, so they have declared their first ever dividend.
Oh.
Yeah, so this company, and it seems like it's been around forever, it pretty much has, 25 years old, and this is the first ever cash dividend.
How much are they giving?
20 cents
per
share.
what share?
Yeah, which is tiny.
So
nothing.
how many?
So $160 US and you get 20 cents. So it's peanuts.
Oh, that's nothing.
But it's also, it's just a good indication. Remember, dividends are a great sign from a company
that things are going well.
Things are going well. We can return cash to shareholders. And they also announced a share buyback of $70 billion. So remember, so a share buyback is also another good sign. So this is like a double whammy of good signs.
So many green flags.
Yeah, so many green flags. It means, you know what, we've got all this cash that we don't know what to do with, really. Like we've allocated some to growing the business, we've allocated some to launching new products, launching new markets, whatever, and we've got 70 billion left over. We're going to buy our shares back.
It's almost like we've got $70 billion.
Yeah,
we may as well invest that in the company and buy more of our company back because
we
growing.
Believe in the future of our company. And it's also like, imagine you were holding Google stock and a new $70 billion investor wanted to buy that much stock. You know, like they're coming in to buy $70 billion worth of stock. That's going to create a natural lift in the share price because they're just buying 70 billion. They're a huge investor.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like a big honcho person.
Oh, I want Alphabet.
Coming in. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, love that.
Quite interesting. But also it goes to show like the fact that it's been listed for 20 years and this is their first dividend. You know, like some people think that dividends. You've got to
be in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That was a very interesting Curve Weekly. I loved it.
Yeah, thanks.
I've had a pan of chocolate for breakfast and it's not enough. I need to go eat something. Tell. Yeah, why?
I was just going to give you shit for not eating because your stomach.
Could you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought I got away with that.
Never. It's like a fart. Oh, I thought I got away with it.
It's
like, no, you didn't.
Okay, in my defense.
Sorry, that's gross.
No, actually, I'm not even defending myself. Who cares if my stomach grumbled? Get over it.
I'd love a pan of chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, just spat on the mic. I actually got coffees this morning for the whole team.
Love you.
And
What?
no, I was going to get pain of chocolates as well.
Oh, why didn't you?
Because I got coffees.
Thanks.
No worries. Next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.